Hey there, South Mississippi. Chief Meteorologist Eric Jeansonne here, and we're going to just kind of address the elephant in the room, the potential for maybe some wintry weather next week. I know if you've been monitoring social media over the last several days, it kind of seems like that's all there is to talk about is the potential for wintry weather across the southeast. But again, right now, there's still a lot of uncertainty and there aren't necessarily any guarantees of that here in South Mississippi. But there have been models that have been hinting at that potential. So the first thing we're looking at is a model comparison between the European model and the GFS model. Those are our two most reliable global forecasting models that go out way out in the long range, like they go out 7 to 10 days. There are reliable forecast models. However, the further you go out in time when it comes to forecast models, the less reliable that output is. And so we're kind of looking at that time frame still in that 5 to 7 time frame of 5 to 7 days from now, where we could be looking at the potential for wintry weather. Overall, the pattern looks cold, but we have to look at the timing of when we see this moisture start to interact. So this afternoon, the latest runs of each model, the GFS and the European, really don't agree. And so what we look for is for different models to start coming into consensus, starting to agree. And the GFS this afternoon shows hardly anything as we go into next week, but just cold air, whereas the European model is a little bit more aggressive with a wintry mess along the Gulf Coast with the potential for freezing rain, sleet, or maybe even some snow across the southeast. But again, those details will come better or become more clear the closer we get to the time frame. So for the GFS model, we get roughly a run every 6 hours. So about 4 times a day, the GFS model updates. And so what you're looking at, the top left corner, that's the latest run from the GFS. And notice it doesn't really show much. The model run before that did have a little bit of snow along the Louisiana coast over into Texas, and the run before that one had more snow over towards Texas and Louisiana, whereas yesterday the GFS model was hinting at lots of snow. So you see that the GFS has actually kind of backed off on the potential for any wintry weather across the southeast. But again, we're still very far out in the future for any of this to kind of be set in concrete. As we take a look at the European model, we don't get the European model updates as often as the GFS. We get them twice a day. And earlier today, the latest model run we have, the European model hinting at perhaps an ice storm across the Gulf Coast. And yesterday, generally, the European model had the same thing. So at least one model is sort of more consistent from run to run, showing the potential for wintry weather. Overall, we are confident that it is going to be much colder. The pattern favors much colder temperatures as we go into next week. We could be looking at pipe bursting freezes even along the coast beginning Sunday night, Monday night, Tuesday night, possibly into Wednesday night. So it will be another extended period of below normal temperatures. Again, there's still a lot of inconsistency with models on whether or not we get any type of frozen precipitation. As far as the timing of this cold front, looking at the timing, Friday night going into Saturday morning, looks like we could be looking at some scattered showers and thunderstorms. Models are a little bit faster with clearing those showers and storms out of the picture. So Saturday may be wet to begin with, but by the early afternoon, most of the rain moving on out. It's not until Sunday morning that we see the Arctic cold front roll on through, and it's going to be much colder. So Saturday looks like a warm day, temperatures in the 60s and 70s across South Mississippi. But as we go into Sunday, our temperatures will struggle to make it out of the 40s. In fact, our temperatures may gradually fall once we get towards lunchtime tomorrow, or Sunday. And by Monday morning, we're looking at wind chill values perhaps in the teens. So that wind combined with temperatures in the 20s and 30s is going to put wind chill values in the teens by Monday morning. It certainly is going to be very cold. But tonight, we are tracking some showers moving across the area. Looks like some pockets of some heavier downpours over towards Louisiana. Not seeing too much on our tower cams this evening, but looking at Futurecast tonight, temperatures will be chilly, and we'll see those passing showers overnight tonight. Not worried about any kind of wintry weather tonight, as temperatures will stay above freezing but tomorrow morning will be a chilly start in the upper 30s inland and some 40s along the coast by the morning hours. So again, we're going to keep an eye on the potential for wintry weather. When it comes to if there is a storm that were to develop as we go into next week, the track of that storm would dictate what we would see. If the track is too far south, then that keeps most of all the precipitation out over the Gulf. If the track is just along the coast or just south of the coast, then that would put us in the sweet spot of keeping us in the cold sector of the storm, and we could see the potential for wintry weather. If the track is too far inland, we could be looking at more of a rain situation as the warm sector would begin to move on through, and that warm air would interact with the cold air, preventing wintry weather. So looking at the 7-day forecast, again, we have a brief warming trend up into the weekend, but by the time we get to Sunday, that Arctic air arrives and it's going to stick around for most of the week.